Welcome to another episode of Talking Out the Dark. I'm your host, Marcus Love. Let's get right into it. You know, this whole thing with the Treasury repayment guidelines for airlines. Now I'm reading a story about they're saying could lead to layoffs. This is straight from the markets, business news. And basically, I'm going to say it's kind of shady. That's what Talking At the Dark is for. Talking about those shady things. And the Treasury Department requires that major airlines repay at least 30% of the aid they received. Now, this is what Congressman had gave them. This is to help them out with the financial distress from the coronavirus or the layoffs. Basically, the whole country, United States, shutting down. And basically, these two senators, Senator Ed Markey, Democrat of Massachusetts, and Senator Richard Blumenthal, Democrat of Connecticut. These senators wrote that Congress was meant to provide $25 billion in direct grants that didn't need to be repaid in an effort to prevent layoffs and loans. The airlines pushed back in terms of talks over the weekend, but the department officials, they're basically saying they're willing to revisit. They're saying they're not willing to revisit the basic framework of the aid, unquote. Isn't that something? That one's from those two senators when they were talking about just one particular airline. I'm not going to get into it because all of them not all of them. Delta Airlines, one of them. United Airlines, LATAM, JetBlue, Southwest. Off the top of my head, I got most of them down there. It's not all of them, but it's most of them. So what gets me is the audacity of these people. I guess these airlines are too big to fail. The last bailout they received, they should have used that money wisely. Hell, the profits they've gotten over the past 3-4 quarters, they've been doing pretty well. But this is about the small business bailouts also. We know the big airlines are getting their bailout. What about the small guy, the small business, the mom and pop shop? We all know somebody that got their own store, restaurant, whatever. Self-employed people. They may have 10 to 20 or maybe 100 people working for them. What are they going to do? Well, the government says we've got a big program to save small businesses. Well, it's running out of money already as of yesterday. And so here's the thing. I'm getting all this information in. Basically, the thing that would help these businesses keep their workers afloat while they're sitting at home during this COVID-19 crisis, it's called the Payback Protection Program, the Paycheck Protection Program. And it's the federal government's big initiative to aid small businesses and their employees during the coronavirus lockdown. And it's already run out of cash since yesterday, Wednesday. They announced it. Our Small Business Administration officially announced that it had approved 1.4 million loans worth a total of $305 billion out of a total of $349 billion that Congress had set aside for the initiative. But officials told Bloomberg that they expected the money to be tapped out by day's end. That was 24 hours ago, y'all. Now, again, this was widely foreseen. Republicans could probably have chosen to put an adequate amount of funding into the program with anticipation of what was obviously going to be massive demand, but they didn't. Now, Trump administration and the Democrats are bargaining over how to refill the thing. Now, this is from an article out of Slate. You can find this online magazine on slate.com. They talk about how this is going out right now. My thing is, my takeaway from it is, the big businesses like the airlines and other large businesses, they're getting their money. They only have to pay back 30% of what they borrowed. out of those billions of dollars. And the small business people, they have to rely on private banks. See, Trump already approved it. Congress passed the bill. So, but now it's got to go into what the private banks, they have to approve the loans individually. And it's a lot of holdup. It's a lot of backup. Not only the money's almost running out, but people aren't getting approved as quickly. So what's going on with that cash just sitting there? That's what I want to know. So go back to what this whole article in Slate, and I quote, the Paycheck Protection Program could probably use a rethink. In other words, they fucked up. I quote, the effort has been chaotic and confusing to applicants since it started. Under the initiative, banks are making government-backed loans that get forgiven if businesses don't lay off their workers. Now, some business owners, this is what the article is saying, some business owners have had trouble finding lenders willing to accept their applications. And while some financial institutions have moved much faster to process the loans, while others, meaning that getting approved for aid has been particularly a matter of luck so far. This is straight from the article out of Slate. It goes on to say, we also have no idea how much of the money that has been approved has been reached the borrowers. The banks don't have to immediately finance the loans after the government greenlights them, and nobody is officially tracking disbursements. Yeah. And if you want to check out the loan tracker, this is called a crowdsourced database COVID loan tracker. Crowdsourced database COVID loan tracker. Only about 5% of those who've applied for a Paycheck Protection Program loan say they've received one. So you can go, after you done seen me app on Talking Up the Dark, you can go over there to the crowdsourced, ugh, the crowdsourced database COVID loan tracker. The thing that got me in this whole this article came from Slate today, that they ran out of money because today's Thursday, yesterday, Wednesday, they ran out of money already. I'm going to requote what they said. Said they have no idea how much has been approved by reach borrowers. The banks, the private banks that get the money from Congress, our tax money, the banks don't have to immediately finalize their loans after the government greenlights them. And nobody is officially tracking the disbursements. So what do you think's going on? Maybe they're keeping the money in an escrow account, they're getting interest. Maybe they're padding their own pockets. Maybe they will eventually approve the loans weeks or months down the line. It's up to their discretion. There's no watchdog. There's no third-party watchdogs watching these people, government or a contracted watchdog, to watch these private banks. Their job is to take the money that was Congress, that was approved to help out, to bail out these small businesses so they can keep their people afloat, their employees, while they're sitting at home during this COVID-19 crisis. They're sitting at home. They need that money so they can pay their people. And the banks are holding it up. Why? That's what's up. That's what we're going to talk about on Talking After Dark. What are they up to? What the hell are they up to? You know, getting kind of tired of this, y'all. Every time, man. I guess they think we're all stupid, that we're all distracted. We're all sitting home, but all of us aren't just sitting here watching Netflix or watching old movies on cable TV. You know, we're not all sitting there just eating our asses off and all just waiting for the next day to come around. Some of us are actually in the thick of this, reading the business news, watching what they're doing. Or as the old cliched saying goes, follow the money. Find out what's really going on. I know people who are in business. I know people who are self-employed. They may have 10 or more employees, or they may be themselves. I know chiropractors, massage therapists, people who do air candling to help cure the body. They do body work. I know people who own their own auto mechanic shops to work on your car so you can get back to work. Those essential workers who are still working now, who are fortunate enough to have a job to go to get income. But a lot of people that are employed by these small businesses, they're at home right now. Okay? Now, me, I'm okay. I've been retired for 9 months now for my 30 years of government service. But that's just me. Talking about everybody else, from family members, loved ones, and people I personally know that run their businesses. Right now, they're hurting. Their employees are hurting, and it's not right. Period. I'm going to follow up on this thing and see what's going on. See if the government's going to stick, or more likely, the Congress is going to come in, get involved, and maybe talk to some of these bankers behind closed doors. See what's going on. What's the holdup? Who knows? Maybe the POTUS, the President of the United States, President Donald J. Trump, maybe he can go in and, you know, put his hand in, see what's going down. See what's the holdup with these private banks getting these monies to these small businesses. Because God knows the larger businesses, they're doing just fine. They got their money and only have to pay back 30% of it. But the rest is 70% of it is a grant. The 30%, they pay back that. And they got a long time to pay it back. All right. Small businesses, though, and the people that work for them, I guess they just asked out, huh? That's us, you and me. Yeah. But y'all let me know what you think about this. You can subscribe, hit the Cash App, check out our Broken Ashy book, get your read on. Until next time, this is Marcus Love on Talking After Dark. Peace.